And so when we circle it back to Bitcoin, and this is what excited me.
Yeah.
I saw finally an opportunity for us to change the conversation and have a stake on the game.
Because it's a financial system you can't be locked out of.
Because it is money that can't be controlled by a sovereign external power. Because money is no longer just a currency. It's a political tool. It's a weapon of influence.
Mm.
And we're usually at the short end of the short end of the straw.
It feels shit.
Mm-hmm.
It feels crap.
It is crap.
But it feels crap as someone from the UK
who benefits from that system.
Yeah, look, there's two things there. Firstly, there's like this historical past that predates me, the colonial past, which is always crap. You know, you go to countries
there's some of the current crap too.
Well, but just saying,
my worst day as a citizen, as someone who lived in the UK, was Red Nose Day. You know Red Nose Day?
Yeah, of course, Lenny Henry.
For me, it's the worst thing in the world.
Why?
African poverty porn for a whole day streamed live on pushing that narrative of they are poor, they are black people, they need our help, send them $1 or $2. When your basic
raping the country
privileges are the things that's keeping them like that.
Yeah.
And what that does, the other side of it, which we're not thinking about, is what that does to our psychology and our mindset as Africans.
Are people here in Africa aware of Red Nose Day, or are you just aware because you've come over to live in the UK and Ireland?
Here, people don't know.
They don't know. Do you think, like, the part of me wants to say, like, it's still a good thing. Money's being raised, it's being helpful, it's going towards projects. But like, then the conspiracy person inside me says, is this a tool our government used to distract us from the fact that we're just still raping the continent?
Correct.
Yeah.
It's, let me take care of any feelings of guilt I may want to have about the systemic injustice that's still keeping my country rich, by saying, at least I supported a child through school in Africa. That's not what moves the needle.
And I was going to say, in the end, like the numbers, I don't know what they are these days. Usually a couple of tens of millions, right? They raise.
I mean, I've not seen it.
They put the
more money comes into Africa from the African diaspora than from international aid combined.
But just circling back, it feels shit. Firstly, I never knew all this. I knew all the historical colonial past, not just Africa, India, I know all of that. And I always kind of like thought, well, that predates me. What can I do? I wasn't alive then. But the stuff and work that Alex Gladstein has done, like exposing this new economic imperialism that's come from the World Bank and the IMF, I know I'm benefiting from it. But there's no way I know it. I don't know how I can extricate myself from it. I can't
buy Bitcoin.
No, what I'm saying is, like, just by living, existing, and buying and having access to products in the UK, I don't know if and when I'm always taking advantage, and I can't stop myself because I live in the UK. I'm part of the UK system, but it feels crap. Like, so what needs to be done? I mean, there's just so many things.
So for years, a lot of the cries from Africa has been trade, not aid.
Mm-hmm.
Trade, not aid. Give us access to be able to get our products to global markets for free, or at least with sense. The cost of travel, the cost of getting goods out, the taxes and tariffs that governments put in place make it impossible and hard for even someone that just wants to do legitimate trade.
So we come in and we take your stuff cheap, and then we just like hold you down. We hold people down in Africa from doing the same in return, just selling their products.
And the stuff you want to take is the raw, unprocessed stuff.
Yeah. So we can make our stuff to sell it back to you.
Correct. And if we process stuff and we want to sell it to you, you've put all kinds of barriers that make it not competitive for us to sell it to you. Because you prefer that we are at the first part of the value chain.
But by keeping the things that we extract from places like Africa, we keep our inflation lower in our countries.
Correct.
So we export our inflation around the world.
So you keep inflation low, but you reduce your cost of production because your raw materials are cheap. And you say, oh, it's past, but we're still stuck in some of those past arrangements.
Oh no, I'm saying the colonial.
I'm saying it's very easy to put that perspective of this colonialism was a long time ago.
Well, that's the realization.
But we're still stuck in some of the systems that were put in place due to the stuff that happened a long time ago. And the media makes sure that the brainwashing and narrative forming continues unabated. So we've not had the opportunity to expose and show the counter narrative at scale.
So a minute ago, I kind of flippantly said buy Bitcoin to meaning if you remove your money from that system, you don't help prop it up. But is that a naive view that can actually make a change?
So I think, and I had this in one of my presentations at the conference. I think Bitcoin is going through an identity crisis. And it doesn't realize it because the dominant voices in Bitcoin are on the side of the argument for Bitcoin or the identity of Bitcoin that does not necessarily track for the rest of the world.
Tell me that, because that's really interesting. Let me tell you the last tweet I just put out. You can learn so much about Bitcoin by traveling. I feel like this is an interesting thing you raise, because I feel like I see the world of Bitcoin on Twitter, and then I see the world of Bitcoin when we go and travel, and I feel like we are seeing a completely different world in terms of what the needs of people. Like you always hear Bitcoin fixes this, okay, what? And I feel like we are seeing a completely different world, and there's this gulf between us. Do you know what I mean by that?
Yes.
Yeah. And I cannot get this through to people.
So when Satoshi released Bitcoin, the ideas of Bitcoin are amazing. And problems that Bitcoin and the features of Bitcoin are amazing. The problem is that for most societies in the West, some of the fundamental problems that Bitcoin fixes are not really your lived reality. And that's why I said, no, problems are not the same.